everyone. Welcome to another interview on the Future Proof Your Law Firm group. So excited to have you all here. And I'm really excited to have our guest, Margaret Wong, here today. Thank you so much for being here today, Margaret. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so Margaret, how I like to start all these interviews, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about yourself and your firm, what you guys specialize in, what you guys have been working on recently, that would be great.
Yes, my name again is Margaret Wong. I'm an immigrant from Hong Kong. I came to America in 1969 with a little sister, Cecilia, and we're still together till now. And now I'm 70 years old. I will be 71 in July 27th of this year. So I'm really excited about my last passage and my last professional part of my life. I started this law firm in 1977, 76, because in those days, really, I graduated from law school, University of Buffalo, and now I have a scholarship with them, a chair with them. So, and I still sit on their boards. But in those days, Asian women, not to say Chinese women, who passed the bar, we don't get hired. I must have interviewed with maybe 50, 60 law firms. And remember, Nixon started visiting with Kissinger, China in 72 and 78. I graduated in 76 from Buffalo Law School. In those days, Buffalo is like ranked one of the top 10. And I got full scholarship coming to America. So I started this practice because I keep getting fired from my job. So now we have about 65, 80 people working. We have 10 offices. So things are doing very well.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome story. That's really powerful, and I'm really excited to be talking with you just about kind of how things have affected a little bit of a bigger law firm, because most of the guests that we've had on so far are a little bit smaller, maybe only one or two offices. So I would love to know, first, if you wouldn't mind, kind of just sharing how things happened through COVID. What were some challenges you faced in the beginning, how you guys were able to overcome those, and how things are going right now?
We are lucky. Actually, I don't know if we're lucky or unlucky. The prior administration really, I felt like a tsunami. So right after the prior president lose the race, I felt like, oh my gosh, at least the president would be nicer to immigrants, to foreign-borns, and not to say we talk about now with the anti-Asian hate and stuff. So things are really brewing in the progressive communities.
Yeah.
But I've been traveling for past maybe 7 or 8 years. I bought my godchild's practice in New York in 2007 because my kids were grown by then. So I started traveling to different cities, and then through the years, I finally stopped traveling by March. I still remember the exact date. We canceled all our plane tickets, and it was like, and I thought that'd be nice. It turned out that it's really great to be able to sit in the office and do Facebook consultations and watch over. And it turned out our overhead, because I was not watching the bottom line. I was really looking at growth.
Oh, sure.
So the 1 year that I stayed in the office really helped me refocus on what's growth, because it's not just, oh, you have all these offices, you have wonderful Google review, you have all these accolades about how you contribute to society. It's really your bottom line, because we are talking to professional lawyers. We're all lawyers watching us. So the ultimate growth is, are your employees happy? Do they have to wear masks at time of work? Because some employees, as you know, they don't want to come in with masks. Others, they want to work at home. So it's really fun. In the meantime, our CFO, the husband was very sick. Of course, I'm aging after that travel as of last year. So our management team also grew. Really, you show that age, because then we have a divide of the older people doesn't want to come in. We don't want the younger people. So we started having a doorman who is one of our development, our community person. He's just so nice, because I come in every morning at 6 o'clock. So we are beating each other. So it's really a fun time. So I don't necessarily think lawyers like us, and we are speaking with our own lawyers, the band of brothers and sisters who belong to the bar, need to really think the pandemic as, oh, we need more clients. We need really look at it as a self-growth, as a self-evaluation of where are we going with this law firm? who am I? Who do I want to be my partners? We actually added some equity partners during that time. We also lose my main partner that was, my heart is broken. I'm still hurt. I was very hurt actually. I'm still going through that process of the 5 stages of grief. It's like the
Sure.
shock of losing him. So, but it's good. The pandemic is good for us. And the amazing thing is, I always thought we made a lot of money, we're doing so well. I got all these awards, but really the bottom line, it's really at the end of the case, how much money can you spend? How much tax do you have to pay? So in the long run, it doesn't matter. Those of us who I think I'm very successful or think we're very successful. Of course, success is another definition.
Yeah, no, definitely. Success is definitely different for everybody. But I'm really glad to hear that things kind of went well for you. And I think the perspective that you're taking of the, you know, using the crisis as kind of an opportunity to grow, I think is something very powerful. And I hope a lot of people did that. And if they haven't yet, I really hope that they look to do that because, with every opportunity, that maybe might be closed to you because of one thing, you have to look and see what other things are out there. Definitely, yeah. So I'm curious then, when it comes to, obviously you're talking about growth and personal growth itself. What are some of the, I guess, some of the biggest ways that you were, tangible things that you actually did? Was it, when you said focusing on employee, satisfaction, or was it, I know you talked about growing in other cities. What things would you attribute to kind of your successful year?
It's interesting because small things like printers, scanners, Xerox machines. Why do I care, right? You just every month, CFO approved the bill and pay it. And for years, we have done the same business, the same company. I never watch it. It turned out, this is a funny story, but I think lawyers like us who manage a practice, who try to manage a practice and think we know it all is weird. It's funny, I think. It turned out most of our paralegals have their own individual printer, their individual scanner. The whole mail team has a very fast scanner, very fast printer, and our office is divided into 3 floors. So each floor have not only that really huge machines. I'm like, we are only a 60, 80, 90 member firm, of course with different offices, but oh my gosh, the Xerox machine, we're paying like, I don't know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And worse is I finally, when I started signing my own checks, that's another advice to you. Everybody sign your own checks and then you know your expense, because I'm always used to someone else pay the bills. I'm done. I just don't want any cost that we owe people money. I always say, pay it, pay it.
Yeah.
Because you need your suppliers to be happy, for you to be happy, and you need them. If your Xerox machine broke down, you need them to come, right? So we pay our bills very fast, like within one day. So it turned out we have all these scanners, fast Xerox machines. Xerox machine is slow in scanning, scanners are slow in, oh my gosh. And then I looked at our bills. It turned out whatever they quoted is different from whatever we pay, because our people, it turned out, is using the color quoter, color printer. And color printers are a lot more expensive. I don't know if you know that, but I've only find out after 40 years of doing this practice. And that's why I said that's weird, I mean, we thousands of dollars, because I said, why? And finally I met with them. They're very nice. I mean, it's not their fault, it's our fault, because it turned out our people, they're too lazy to turn off the color versus black and white. So I called also across the street. We have a company who is a very good, the mother is a very good friend of mine. Now you know how old I am. The son is running the business now. It's called Original Printing. And I called them. I say, hey, can you help me out? Our Xerox cost is like going through the roof, because they also help us in our big Xeroxing, our circuit court filings, our US Supreme Court filings. They do it for us. They're so nice. They came over and tell us, oh, this is what you're doing. It turned out we're not using, I can tell you a story, little things like that. It's sort of fun. I mean, just coming back and see how your employees work. Not only that, I mean, these are my partners, how we work.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's kind of, every single piece is, an important, cog in the overall wheel to keep everything running smoothly. And I think kind of like what you said with writing your own checks, it's important, I think, for people to kind of try and keep their finger on the pulse of their business. Because sometimes if you slip away too much, there's things kind of like what you said can slip through the cracks. And I can tell you for sure, I do know that colored printers, yeah, those
Yes.
costs can add up a lot more. And it's kind of funny how that is. So, in terms of the future, where are you guys looking to, are you, still looking to grow in a certain capacity? I know you kind of are saying that you were getting into the kind of one of the last legs of your, personal, career itself. So are you,
Absolutely, we are growing because we had some serious partners who left me in year 2000. And I mean, again, my heart was broken. It's like whenever things do well, God had to give you a hand, you know? So we had like maybe 4 people left us. I mean, they were my successors. By then I was really planning whatever happens to me, they'll have to take over, and I was training them.
Mhm.
So they left us, and it turned out they planned it for 9 months. So they really took away, in those days, we were one of the leading employment based, and I shouldn't say leading, maybe I'm leading. I think I'm leading. So we are really good at what we do, and they are very good. Actually, I think they're better than I am. So again, my heart was broken. And then 911 come in, and President Fox and President Bush refused to give us new laws. So I don't know how I did it. I called all my friends in from New York, from California. I didn't even know I have so many friends that are lawyers that can help me file those papers, because they really took a lot of files and I'm stuck with dictating the work. And finally, all my friends came in. We just sit on my dining room table in the kitchen of our law firm and just get those files. I still owe so many of my friends favors from that period. And from that period, we really switch our cases to very much alien practice, like representing individuals. It's hard because it's more like retail, but it's fun because they took away our employee. They're still very, very well. In fact, the people who left me, their name firm is actually given to another group of lawyers that left us in 2005 or 2006. So the name firm is gone. They started another new firm. So I'm like, yeah, I'm so bad. I'm so competitive, you know?
No, no, that's
So no,
okay.
no,
You
it's
gotta
good.
be
So
competitive.
all
Yeah.
my competitor, I mean, now I'm fighting against a young group. So absolutely we're growing. And the whole litigation in immigration arena is opening up because of the difference with Trump and Biden and Bush and Obama. It's just a lot of fun. You know, you look at a case, instead of worrying about your business or making money, you really need to worry about and listen to your clients. I mean, that's the whole trick. Listen to them. I'm a foreigner, so I went through years of getting my green card. I went through the whole process they did. I know the heartburn, the heartache, not knowing, should I go back, should I stay here? I know what they go through. So I think that's very important to have a successful, whatever you do, practice, sole practice, because sometimes sole practice actually may have made more money than firm, because then you lose your control also. Now we're partners. So whatever I do, they took away actually my power to hire now. So because they think I'm no good. And I agree, I'm horrible in hiring and firing. So, but it'll be good.
Yeah, no, 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 definitely. This is something I would love to know. When it comes to having a multi-location firm, obviously I saw you guys, you have a lot of great, online reviews. That's awesome. So when, people are coming to you, in these new areas, how are people finding you in these new areas? Like if you, say when you first opened up your, New York location or whatever, is it just something your name brand still carries over into these new locations, or what do you guys do?
I I lucked out because when I took over my partner's practice, her name is also Margaret. We're the same godmother. We grew up together. Actually, my mother is a matchmaker of her parents. So our family goes way back. 50 years, maybe 60, 80 years, because I am 71. So I call her the young Margaret. Actually, I helped her bought out Ben Gim's practice, who is one of the grandfather of immigration practice for the Chinese. He's the precedent-setting lawyer, saying that when you do a fiance visa for the Chinese, you don't want to meet each other, because for a fiance visa, you need to meet each other in the past 2 years because you're good fiance. He's the first lawyer who said, for Chinese practice, you don't need to do that because we don't meet each other. We just get married, you know? So, and the Indians is all arranged marriage. So he's just an awesome gentleman. He wanted me to take over in the 80s. By then he was like in the 70s, 80s, and he's just getting older and tired, and he wants to enjoy his grandchildren. So I helped Margaret bought that practice or took over. Ben actually trained her. So she ran for judge, and then I thought I'll just go. And so sometimes a good deed, it's not just about money, because I was helping her. I was hoping she would sell it for some good money because she became a judge, and she had to sell her condo to support her campaign because she's a Chinese. That's 20 years ago. 20. And so it took her. I go in the weekends to help her pass out leaflets, raise funds.
Yeah.
So by then it's like, oh my gosh, she suddenly won. What are we going to do with this thing? So I took over, but it turned out because she was running a campaign for so long. The practice is really, so I made it. So we had a good practice. How did I do it? I lucked out because I speak fluent Chinese, and the practice is right in Chinatown. Actually, I moved it out now, but in those days we do. And I'm so thankful. I have friends there. They introduced me to this radio owner who also happened to be the children of my parents, because my parents are all journalists and reporters. So I started doing these 2 radio shows. People thought, oh my gosh, because my voice is on the radio, I get a lot of business. What they don't know is I also learn from these radio shows because it's live. I have no DJ to protect me. So it's like they did come and say, I'm your client. I just don't understand why you you couldn't help me. And you said you can do this, and you didn't do it. So you're suddenly that half an hour you're stuck with, really come up with some quick responses. And
Sure.
so that really trained me. So that's good. So that's New York. And we just did really well. New York became one of our main revenue source. And we also opened in Columbus. Columbus is weird because I've been going there at least once a month, and then later on once a week. We never advertise. It's just, they just know Mrs. Wong's coming every Friday. You're coming. Now we have other partners going now, but I still FaceTime. So each office is different. You just need to see the pulse, like it turned on Nashville. Another advice to maybe younger clients or lawyers is that I personally like tier 2 cities like Chicago, Atlanta. Those are tier 1 cities, New York. Those are very hard to break in because most of the immigrants, they have the old lawyer that they always refer to, or they don't listen to your radio, they don't read the newspaper. So, and also they don't look at Facebook, but you really have to know. And even as of now, and we do a lot of advertising on Facebook on our own, even now, I would say 92%, because our data supports it, is from personal referral. That personal referral is awesome.
Yeah. That's kind of what I suspected. And I think what you definitely said there about trying to break into tier 1 cities as a younger, firm owner is definitely tough. And I think a lot of people might have ambition, going into it, but I think you can always start a little bit smaller and then maybe grow up from there. You hate to, put everything into it only to, just not work out just because of the area you're in. And now I want to get into our last couple questions, but really quickly, when you brought that up, I wanted to, something that you just brought up, I wanted to talk about. I know that you have, I'll be honest, for your age, I think you look great, Mrs. Wan. Honestly, I would never have guessed your age, but I do need to ask, when it comes to advertising and just, marketing as a whole, I know your firm has seen a lot of different types because of, just the age of the firm itself. So I would love for you to compare maybe some of the, previous marketing that you guys had to do to maybe some of the current marketing that you're doing, with Facebook advertising or whatever, because I know there's a lot of firm owners who think that, oh, they have to do TV advertising or they have to do billboard advertising because that's like what the big firms do. But I know there's a lot of other, avenues out there that they could potentially take.
Right. If you look at the Buffalo, I came from Buffalo. My law school is in Buffalo. I still go back there every quarter to do my board, meetings and stuff. If you look at that PI firm, they were so successful. And if you go, like I used to fly to New York before the pandemic every Monday. So you see all those billboards of that Buffalo law firm. They have the jingle, but this became so successful they broke up. So what good is you lose your soul and you lose your core if you became so successful. So there is certain opportunity cost on what's the definition of success. But as far as advertising is concerned, you need to really go with your market. There was a time we do a lot of Chinese cases. So we advertise seriously in the newspaper because that's how the Chinese get their news is. There are only 2 national newspapers and I know them and, they call us. But through the years, the younger Chinese are coming, so, and also because of the growth in China the past 30, 40 years. So how do you get a Chinese business? The PI firm is different from immigration firms, it's different from criminal firms, it's different from estate. Chinese, we don't like to talk about wills. My mom died in the 90s. She won't write a will. So I said, Mom, and she won't even tell us how much she's worth. She has apartments in Shanghai, in China. And she won't. I mean, she pretends, actually, I think she pretends she's richer than what she was. So we really have to push her. Who is your stockbroker in Hong Kong? Who's your stockbroker in Shanghai? You know, why do you always want to go back and don't let us know? So Chinese, we don't like to talk about our wills and our estate. It's just considered bad luck and jinxing it, right? American people, they have nothing and they want to write a will for $25. So you really have to know your audience. And also you need to know in your city, who is strong competitor. I have some lawyers, young lawyers, and I respect them. They look like me. They wherever I advertise, they follow me. You know, that's good. They use our same salesmen. So I watch them also. And I'm learning from them. They don't know that. And don't tell them I'm learning from them, but I'm learning from them, right? Because if someone is successful, of course, if they want to advertise in the Houston market with a location, then if they do it, I'm like, what made them do that? So you always follow people, and that's good because smart people, they're very competitive, but more than that, they are also watching you. So learn from your benchmarking, and also learn from your young lawyers. Go off to lunch once in a while. I mean, don't spend 1.5 hours on one person, but go networking and just listen what they're doing. Just, I love to, like in LinkedIn, now I'm learning LinkedIn because for years, because I was traveling so much, I don't do LinkedIn, now I'm learning how to invite my old friends. They say, Margaret, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to learn from you. What are you doing? So there's some giants in our industry, like Judge Chase, he was a judge and now he writes. Oh my gosh, I can name names, Judge, and I want to recruit these lawyers. They don't want to work with us because they really want to just write. Schusterman is another one. Murphy is another one, but her husband helps her. I don't have a husband who helps me. So I watch them, you know, so I said, what are they writing? What's their thought? These are thought leaders in our industry. But you have to know your strength and weakness because my strength is in the practice. I mean, I can look at a client, talk to them on the phone, and I got it. I know exactly, I visualize you from the end, you start from the beginning. Actually, there's a book, you start from the beginning, from the end. I just finished a book. So, but watch your strength, how you think, and then you develop your practice from it.
Gotcha. No, that's very insightful. Thank you for sharing all of that. I think, it's very important what you said there for sure for people to know their market, whether they're doing advertising or just marketing in general, because like what you said, just different people are on, different groups of people even are on different platforms, because that's the thing. I know some people, like, for example, for estate planning, maybe they aren't going to be on Instagram or whatever. So you might want to do more, print advertising or market in a different way. But if you're trying to reach out, like you said, maybe to a younger audience, then it's important to be where your market's at, and especially like what you said, to know your competition, because there's a lot of holes that people could potentially fill, or there might be places like what you said for people to learn what other people are doing. Because if there's a bunch of people doing it, yes, there's a lot of competition, but yet that also means that it probably is working if a lot of people are trying it. So I really appreciate that insight. My second to last question here. Now, everything that you've been talking about sounds like things, recently have been going really great, which is awesome to hear. But I'd be curious, are there any current challenges that you guys are facing, besides, people leaving in the past, right now in the present? Are there any challenges that you guys are facing?
Absolutely. I just took a few days off. I'm going through, I was telling my friends, my tsunami moment. We have 3 lawyers who just gave us notice that left. One is a younger lawyer, does litigation for us. And really one of our goals is really to train him to be one of our serious partners. Also, his parents are immigrants. So I really want, and he's a wonderful lawyer. So my heart is broken. So people keep breaking my heart and I say, I'm too old to be broken, but that's okay. Another lawyer got a job as a professor. He always liked to teach. Even when he was working with us, he was an adjunct professor. So he finally got his dream job. That's good. We also have another lawyer who left us maybe a year ago because he became an immigration judge. It's good to have someone from inside because we talk a lot. But it's still sad because, it's like, how do you protect your staff, your partners, if they couldn't stay because they get their dream job? We also have another lawyer who's an excellent litigation lawyer. And in fact, I'm investing in his startup. So he took some of our people with him. So he's starting up his own practice, but he's doing it off counsel to us. So I'm going through my moment of, I have to rebuild again, even though we're still here. So yeah, so these are challenges. You just face it and do it. And
Yeah, no, they're growing pains for sure. Obviously you definitely wouldn't be there if you weren't so successful. If people were, if you didn't even have people to leave underneath you. So, I wish you the best of luck with that. And you've been dropping a lot of value here, and I really appreciate it. Now, as we conclude with this, I would love to know one more final thing for, maybe a smaller firm that's maybe looking to grow, or really any lawyer that might be struggling right now in their practice. As somebody with all of the wonderful years of experience that you do have, what is maybe one or two more final things you would share with them?
don't see yourself as you need the money for the rent. Keep helping people. There are days when someone came knock on your door and they have no money. Do it. Just say, I know you don't have the money, but don't assume they don't have the money, right? So tell them this case is worth so and so, but I'll do it for you. Just pay me maybe $50 a week, $50 a month, or whatever. Do those cases because somehow they will respond. We have cases that we don't even have an office like in Pennsylvania and Indiana. Somehow we have a lot of people coming. Sometimes someone would just rent like maybe a bigger car and bring their friends in. And because I always felt I owe so many of our referrals. Some friends that they bring in, we don't charge them. So these are little things you can do, but never feel that you need to grow because you need the money. Because ultimately, money have nothing to do with it. Because money is you pay the tax, you pay your child support, you pay, child care, and you still have nothing anyway. So don't think growth is money. Growth is here when clients tell you, I still remember you 20 years ago, you really flew to Pittsburgh. I didn't have money. Now they're a Harvard professor. I just got a note. So that reminds me. And at that time, he has no money, but I knew this kid is going to go places. So I have so many successful clients. They all started with no money because, of course, they have no papers. If they have papers, they won't need a lawyer like us. So absolutely don't think of money. Do it because you want to. But if you don't like it, don't do it. You listen to yourself. There's only three parts of you: your brain and your mind, your heart and your gut. We came alone, we'll go away alone. Life is very lonely, especially if you're so practiced, you're on the top. It's very lonely. There are days I wish I have someone to talk to, but I don't care how many relatives you have, how many children you have, how many spouses and girlfriends you have. Ultimately, you are alone.
Yeah. And I think that is, taking care of yourself and making sure that you yourself are happy and content with what you're doing. I think it's very important for success, like you said. And I hope, everybody's that's listening, everybody that watches this takes note of everything that Margaret is saying, because I think it is all super, super valuable. So thank you so much for being here today, Margaret. I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to learn more about you, or if you have any, thing you want to promote, it seems like you have a book or something right there. Now would be a perfect time you could share that.
Oh, no problem. Just look at our web. We give out our books for free, so you can email us. And then that book is sort of old. I'm in the process of writing my second and third book.
Oh, cool.
But just email us. I'll send you a book. It's not a problem. No, you go and learn something. It comes from you, not from me, not from my friend here. You.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching today. Really appreciate it. And thanks again, Margaret. We will all see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.